Hi everyone, I'm Lenny Hall, owner of Endurance Floor Company. I'm in my shop today because I have a challenge, and that is to duplicate some baseboard that's over 30 years old and the profile is not available from current mill shops around the area. You might find yourself in this predicament too, in the fact that I only need to make 30 feet of baseboard and no shop usually wants to mill small quantities. But here's a great tip of how to fabricate, if not the exact profile, a very close profile that'll get you going when it comes to painted grade material. This is the base profile I'm duplicating. It has a Roman OG top, then it has a square shelf and a 1/4 inch radius as part of the profile. Here's a close-up look of it. Duplicating the profile is not as complicated as it seems. First, you find a Roman OG bit that's similar, if not exactly in profile, to the one you need. Then you find a radius bit that'll do the radius you want on that part too. Now here's the catch. At least on the radius bit, you have to sacrifice the bearing part. So you're going to commit this profile to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to take the bearing off, grind it flat, and it becomes a flat shelf cutting with a 1/4 radius bit. Here's a close-up. Now this Roman OG bit is designed to run into a router, usually with the base of the router touching the surface of the workpiece, in other words like this. However, the problem I need is I need to run my router bit this way. And that's a challenge because this 3/4 inch surface is not really a good surface to put the base of the router on and keep my work steady. So to do that, I modified the router a little bit, and this is how I did it. First, I took the bearing off completely. As you'll see in this model, it's already placed inside the router. With the bearing off, I create a 90-degree shelf to the base of the router, which becomes a secondary base. Now I can run my router flat to the baseboard profile as such. To make sure you're working safely, make sure your workpiece is secure. Here I have it squeezed between a bench dog and a clamped board at the other end of my support table. This piece isn't moving, and so I know I'm real safe when I run the router. Also, personal protective equipment is important. I wear my hearing protection, and for me, because I'm nearsighted, I wear my eyeglasses to protect my eyes. Let's start running the OG profile. We're not going to do it all at once though, because it's a pretty large profile. So to lessen the stress on the router, we're going to cut it into 3 passes, where we're going to get about 45% to 50% of the first pass. On the second pass, we're going to get to within 90% of the whole profile. And then that last third pass is going to be a 10% pass. That's going to be a lot less stress on the router, and it's going to make a cleaner cut on the surface, which means a lot less sanding. Let's get to it. Full of wood chips. To run the shelf and 1/4 radius profile, remember I ground the bearing off the bit. So there's no way to guide this now, other than making a router base with a stopper or a restrictive block that keeps the profile from going any further into the baseboard I want. So what I have done is created a base out of plywood, which mounts to my router. And then I have simply a square block clamped to the base itself, which is what is adjusting the profile in and out from the top of the baseboard. This has already been set, so we're ready to run the shelf and radius profile now. we're done making the baseboard profile now. And you can see from the cutoff piece I made, from the profile I'm trying to match, it's pretty good. When making your own baseboard in your shop with routers or shaper tables or whatever tool you want, here's a tip. When you're making the profile part, start with a blank that's wider than the finished profile you want to create. The reason for that is if something were to happen, the wood would fracture, it would chip out, or you'd have a damage that you want to get rid of, you don't lose the whole baseboard piece. You just retrim this off a little bit, run your profiles again, and you can salvage that piece. Saves a lot of lumber, not have to buy more material. Then once your profile is completed, then you can take it to your table saw and do the rip cut to size, or you take it to the job site and scribe it to fit. There you have it. We matched a 30-year-old base profile that no local mill had a knife for. It would have normally cost $300 or $400 to build a set of knives, and then for them to run the baseboard profile, which would be another big expense because they're only going to run usually minimum 100-foot or 200-foot orders. But here, we were able to make our 30 feet we needed to finish our job out and make the customer really happy. And all it took was a couple routers, a couple router bits, some modifications for sure. But simple enough, and you can do it in your own shop too. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now.